here's the truth. School isn't fine for many teenagers. So we want to talk about that with Ginny Anderson, an award-winning journalist, thank you very much, and Rebecca Winthrop. She's the director, of the Center for Universal Education at the Brookings Institution. They've got a new book. It's called The Disengaged Teen, helping kids, listen to this, learn better, feel better, and live better. I love this. Explores what they call a crisis of checked out and overwhelmed kids at school and what parents can do to help. Guess what, parents? You can help. Ginny Anderson and Rebecca Winthrop, we're very glad you're here.
Welcome.
Number one, I love this book, as you know, because I think it's chock full of so much information. But you guys spent 3 years researching, reading, writing, talking to actual kids. So you know what you speak, and you're both parents of 2 and 2 children. But this is the thing that fascinated me. Elementary school, 3/4 of the kids are excited about school. By high school, 65% of kids have checked out. They feel, by high school, they feel trapped, helpless, and hopeless. What has happened?
Yeah, I mean, kids have been disengaged for a long time, as we saw in those video clips. But right now, the gap between what they learn in school and what's happening in the real world, it's a chasm, and they feel it. They see what's happening in the world. Polarization, wars, Gen AI, they see all that happening, and they don't feel they're being prepared for the world on the other side. And so what do? They check out.
Yeah, but when did the switch happen, though? Because I remember being very excited. I always loved school. But you can remember when you're a little kid, you're so excited about going, and then by high school, you're tired, you're annoyed, you just want no part of it. Something happens.
Something absolutely happens when kids start to hit middle school, but disengagement writ large, a lot of people talk about COVID and cell phones, and those have exacerbated the disengagement crisis, but didn't start it. Kids have been disengaged in equal proportions for decades before cell phones were invented. The issue is that today, you cannot check out and coast through school and get a good job. Most employers say kids are unprepared, and kids feel unprepared because you no longer need just basic literacy and numeracy, which is what employers wanted. You need critical thinking, collaborative problem solving. All the incredible people here, they have super high skills like working in teams and solving issues on the fly. That you have to really be engaged to get those skills.
So you write about 4 different types of learners, and I found this very clarifying. There's a resistor. These are modes of learning: the passenger, the achiever, and the explorer. Can you just break those down for us?
Sure. So we found that kids turn up 4 different ways in their learning. So the passenger, we know these kids, this is the Ferris Bueller, coasting along doing the absolute bare minimum. Achiever mode, those kids are striving for perfection at all costs. Resistor mode, these are dubbed the problem children, withdrawing and acting out. Explorer mode, this is where we want kids to spend the most time in and out of school. This is where kids love learning. This is where curiosity meets drive, and kids are unstoppable.
So I wonder, I would like to believe that I was an explorer type, but I didn't always have good grades. So I wonder what the disconnect then is between how we teach our children, if they are not finding it fulfilling, and what the kids are themselves going through. There's 2 things happening, right? The social, which you might not like high school because you don't like to be bullied or you don't like some of your peers, but what they're also learning.
Yeah, I mean, part of the reason we develop these modes is because so much of learning is invisible, right? So we need a language to be able to talk about this. But kids, so many kids are a passenger in school and an explorer in the real world, and that's where parents can really help. Lean into that. That is a good thing. They're developing that internal drive somewhere, and that's what we really want. That can spill over into the classroom because they're getting the feeling of what it is to accomplish something, to get better at something, to dig in and have it pay off. And once that happens, they get that it can happen, and it can happen, and they're learning, and parents can tell them, this can happen anywhere.
But the big takeaway is that parents actually have some agency here. Most people think, it's their peers that have more influence. Parents really do have a lot of say. So how can parents exert this without being annoying to their children and turning their children off?
And when they're busy and leading busy lives and trying to put food on the table and all that.
Right.
Parents, luckily, of adolescents, even though we think we don't have influence, have equal amount of influence to motivate and engage our kids in school as peers.
Do they?
And as teachers, they do. Research shows. And the things we have to do are not expensive and not time-consuming. It's shifting how we talk to kids, asking when they come home, ask about the content of their learning of their favorite class, rather how they did in their worst class. Start modeling curiosity. That's a great way to get kids into explorer mode. Talk about what you're learning at work. Talk about what you failed at and what was hard, so they start seeing how you can be resilient and how learning helps their lives.
What's the question we ask so they don't just go fine? Because they say fine and
do not say, how was school?
Yeah.
Bad question, bad answer.
Predictable answer.
Well, what's the right question?
Ask, so, hey, if their favorite class is art, hey, are you still working on learning how to draw portraits in art? What happened about that?
We can really be the bridge between, they feel that what they're learning in school is irrelevant. A lot of it is actually very important, but it's not being, no one's explaining why it's relevant. So they're studying King Lear in English and they're thinking, why am I reading this dead white guy? Guess what? Do you know what King Lear's about? Super dysfunctional families. You love Succession? What is it about really dysfunctional families that just carries through time?
Guys, I'm still wondering what the
I really do.
benefit of algebra was. I flunked that twice. Ginny Anderson and Rebecca Winthrop, thank you very much. The Disengaged Teen is on sale now, wherever you like to buy your book.